Thanks, Mr. Chris. Guess what? His name was Sharky.
I think the ultra-violence of this movie is kicked off. I mean, you've got the torture of Felix and all that, but I think the ultra-violence is kicked off after the death of Sharky, and you have to love the moment where he steps out and just says,
Compliments of Sharky.
compliments of Sharky. And just blasts that guy with no regard for the fact that he's surrounded by bad guys. That's the fun of this movie, is stuff like that, where Bond's on this suicidal revenge plot where he just doesn't give a f***. He shoots the guy point blank.
Just gets killed.
He just
It's laughable. That seems
This
funny.
movie is so... Again, Barbara Broccoli, go home. Go home. This movie's awesome. Anyway, I want to talk about Dario. Speaking of violence, I want to talk about Dario. I think that, you know, obviously, had they known that Benicio would have the career he had, they would have beefed him up a bit.
I think he stands out, though. He stands out.
He's Benicio. He stands out. You know that was his idea to do the knife thing, right? Because Benicio is kind of like Johnny Depp. Benicio and Johnny Depp are similar actors so far as they're professional weirdos.
I don't know, man. I need to get him.
What?
I could see that fantastic note. When I rabbit.
Mm-hmm. They're really good at coming up with just weirdo things. Oh, this character, I'm going to have them do this thing, and they're going to be a weirdo. They're professional weirdos. So he certainly stands out. What's interesting, though, is that his whole function is to just be a bridge for the plot so that you have a reason for why Bond has to freak out at the end. In the last movie, Bond was recognized, and it was his fault, and I said several times that was kind of weird that Bond didn't cover his face, so he was discovered by Koskov.
You may remove your masks now, gentlemen.
No, you don't have
With this, though, he didn't anticipate that Dario would be there, so he's kind of caught off guard. He's got the mask on, and then he still recognizes him, and he has to take it off.
I know him. He's an informer.
I'm laughing because of the mask scene, because the first thing I thought of was like, well, this is interesting, because this is what we're living through now, and all these people are in these masks, and I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, if only Bond would have just kept his fucking mask on, we wouldn't be dealing with any of this. If Bond was just a better person and would put the fucking mask on.
Shut up, Charlie. Shut the
Anyway, so, but what I'm getting at, though, is that I'm sure Dario was originally scripted as just a guy, right? And that was his whole function. Little did they know they cast one of the best character
weirdos
actors
in Hollywood. Yeah,
exactly, best weirdos in Hollywood. But what they should have kind of realized as they were making it was that Dario and Sanchez, Dario should have been a Sanchez. He should have been Franz's hermano. They should have been brothers. They act like brothers. They look like brothers. There's this somewhat of an emotional connection between them. Every time they see each other, they're hugging and all that. That should have been his hermano.
His little brother. And then had that added to the movie, then it would have been even bigger thing if he got killed and then Sanchez found out. And then we could put the revenge theme in the movie more. Hamlet, dude. I mean, they almost. I agree. If you watch the movie with the audio off, you would assume that they were brothers. Yeah, you know. Yeah. It's just. Yeah, but it's one of those things where I don't need them to. We don't need to say it, but we definitely feel it, and it's one of those. We're in a crime family.
He keeps saying loyalty is number one, and then he has his brother there, and his brother is loyal to the end, and then Bond ends up killing him.
All we get is the impression that Dario maybe has been around for a long time and has rose through the ranks, and has established that trust. But yeah, if it was a brother, that would take it to a whole nother level.
Totally.
That would be cool.
Yeah. It seemed like it was something that they could have just put in, when she says,
"It's Dario. He's bad news. He used to be with the Contras before they kicked him out. Just the kind of guy Sanchez would send."
They could have just said, "Oh, that's Dario. That's Sanchez's brother."
Yeah.
And then boom, you didn't need to do anything more than that because they're always embracing each other. They seem brotherly.
Unlike every other person in this movie, as far as his henchmen go, there's not that connection.
Except with maybe Heller. Him and Heller seem pretty tight.
Heller's the guy who gets killed with the forklift?
Yeah, he's Sanchez's head of security, but he's also a colonel in the military. When Bond gets captured, he's the one who fuego! And he's the one shooting the building with the tank.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's in the uniform.
Yeah.
And he takes the headset off.
Yeah.
Yeah.